Shifting your difficult work relationships towards the path of success. These are tips and tools for dealing with difficult people in the workplace or with clients. The session will include how to define difficult relationships, how to modify your behavior, and how to shift for success. Bev is a co-founder of The Collaborative, she's a popular national speaker, a college professor, and a two-time best-selling and Gold Award-winning author. She's run her company for 17 years. Her best-selling book, Understanding Other People, The 5 Secrets to Human Behavior, won a Gold Award from Reader's Favorite for Best New Book on Relationships. Her latest book, 30 Days to Understand Other People, A Daily Approach to Improving Your Relationships, was just released. And with that, Bev,
to go to something completely different now. But let me ask, show of hands, how many people in this room either have now or have ever had somebody that you work with that you would consider to be difficult? Okay, let's see. So I didn't see every hand. How many people have ever had a boss that you consider to be difficult? A family member that you consider to be difficult? I mean, these people are everywhere. So what we're going to talk about today is how to deal with these difficult people. And the truth of the matter is, you are in a people business. You're trying to get the attention of people, you're reporting on people, you're trying to get people interested in what you're doing. This is a people business. But you know what? I say this to technology companies and software and air travel, you name it. It really fundamentally, it is about how much do I understand about people and how can I get along with people. So I was asked to teach a graduate class in 2008 called Dealing with Difficult People. And when you teach, oftentimes they have some kind of a syllabus that's already been created or some material to give you. And they basically said to me, we don't have anything. You have to make up how do you deal with difficult people. So I said, oh, this is great. I had had very senior corporate jobs all my life. I've been a coach, a consultant, I'm a hypnotherapist, working with people for decades. So I said, this is a great opportunity to take everything that I've learned and be able to put it in a chunk form so people can understand it. And I believe it was Mike Long was talking earlier about the idea as writers is how we organize information. So that's what I wanted to do. So I thought about all the different aspects of what I've learned around communication, understanding people, getting along with people. And ultimately what I did was come up with the 5 secrets. Secret number 1. So I call this, it's all about me. What does that really mean? What that really means is that what we're unaware of is that as we look out at the world, we have in front of us filters that we've developed over time that come from our experiences, what we've been taught is right or wrong, how to treat people, the way that we think about things. And so what happens is we tend to look at other people and we will immediately label them. We'll put some kind of a judgment on them. So I see a person that is always coming into the office and strolls down the hall like he owns the place. And my filter tells me those kinds of people are full of themselves. They're rude and egocentric. Immediately, I've never even met this person. First time he's ever been in my office. But we'll tend to make an assumption about somebody, label them, judge them, and then it limits our ability to deal with them because we think we understand what they're all about. So we have to watch, and you'll hear me talk about becoming more aware. Secret number 2, I call this behavioral styles come between us. If there is one thing that I've learned in my career that has been the most powerful information, it is around the concept of behavioral style. Behavioral style is all about how we communicate and how we operate on different scales of behavior. Now the research shows that we buy from people we like. And you know who we like? We like people that are like us. Because it makes it a lot easier for us to deal with them, to communicate with them if they're like me. So I'll give you a quick primer on behavioral style. But I want to underscore how important it is, so I'm going to ask a quiz first. If you're in communication, you call up that journalist, you have a meeting in your agency with a client, you have an exchange. How much of what gets understood from that communication process do you think is attributable to the words that were used? So I'm going to ask for a show of hands. How many people think it's 7%? How many people say 15%? 29%? 52? Do I have a 90? I did a group yesterday, I got my first 90 in 5 years. So the answer is 3, your values speak more loudly than you do. So behavioral style is about what we do. You can see is somebody upbeat and outgoing or very analytical. Values are why we do what we do. So oftentimes what happens is we try to influence people to our value set, the way I see it as important. In the meantime, I'm talking to this other person and they don't see it the same way. So this is when we really, really dislike people, is when the value set is different. This is based on research by a person named Edward Spranger. He wrote a book in the early 1900s, and what he found is that there's 6 core values that the entire population shares, but we share them in a different order of importance. Most of us on a day-to-day basis, we're driven by our top 2 values. Sometimes we'll dip into our 3rd value. How this works though is if my top 2 are your bottom 2, not only do we not see eye to eye on things, but I can actually feel offended by what you think to be important. Let me run through what the 6 of them are and you may be able to figure out where you fit. Utilitarian, this is what we call the ROI value, return on investment. If I'm going to invest my time, my money, my energy, show me a return on that investment. So oftentimes you think about the way salespeople sell things, they're trying to show what's the value of it, what's the return. But not everybody has that as a top value. Second one, individualistic. We used to call this the political value. This is sometimes called the ego value. This says if I'm going to attach my name, my reputation to something, I want to make sure that it's going to go well and that I'm going to get some credit for it. So if you don't have this value, sometimes you see this as concerned too much about me, too egocentric. But the individualistic sees it as my name matters to me. Secret number 4, I call this don't assume I know what you mean. This is all about the fact that context is everything. And this is, as writers, as people trying to communicate something that is so clear to you. It can be very dangerous because we can make assumptions. Think about words that we use. A word that means something to me could mean something entirely different to someone else. So we really have to watch our assumptions. So I love this part too. We want to be the ones who keep the power, are in control, and are able to get what we need to get done in our workday with whatever it is that our effort might be. So watch your own triggers. Be aware of those things that set you off. Practice being an interested observer so that you can understand what is it that triggers me? Why do I respond that way? And give yourself some options in trying different things with some of these difficult people. You might find, as I can honestly say I have over the years, some of the folks who looked the most difficult on the face of it ended up being the biggest champions when you can understand them and you can figure out a way to be able to work more effectively with them.